and it's over. Democrats have now learned that the Democratic Party is a pro-torture, pro-war, pro-Wall Street corruption, crony capitalist, anti-free market garbage. And all they offer is indentured servitude, living on the globalist plantation. And now the Republicans are waking up to the fact that their party's totally controlled and a bunch of bloodthirsty warmongers. That's why all of the mainstream dinosaur media first ignores and then attacks Ron Paul. Because Ron Paul has always stood for the same thing. Common sense and the Constitution, and not being a murdering, warmongering nation run by a bunch of criminal, ruthless corporations. Millions of people. And make no mistake, all over the United States there are demonstrations and occupations of the private not-for-profit Federal Reserve. The sleeping giant that is the American people is waking up and realizing that America's wealth and power and ingenuity was hijacked in 1913 by a criminal conspiracy of bankers to masquerade as a federal agency that used the power of the U.S. currency and the people to buy off the world and set up a tyranny. And now the people have awakened to that tyranny, and the beginning of the end of the criminal Federal Reserve has begun! Ben Bernanke has come out and said he supports the Occupy Wall Street movement. We've seen the head of the Dallas Federal Reserve, one of the most powerful in the country, come out and say he supports Occupy Wall Street. We've seen Bill Clinton. We've seen George Soros. We've seen Al Gore. We've seen all the people that have gotten rich and powerful off of stealing people's tax money for their corporate fascist system, telling the American people that are hitting the streets and angry at the corruption of Wall Street that they need to sit down and you'll basically feel good because the government hears you and is with you. This is a desperate attempt for the system to try to cut off the anger, and they've sent out all of the operatives from the Republican and Democratic parties to try to take over the awakening to the bankster fraud. But that is now backfiring right now, and all over the country people are pointing out some general demonization of, quote, capitalism, free market, private property by Michael Moore, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, is an abject manufactured fraud. Of course the Federal Reserve wants to endorse some nebulous thing about Wall Street being bad. No, let's talk about the big six mega banks that own the private Federal Reserve, who control the tens of trillions of dollars they've stolen, and all the wars they've launched, and all the Goldman Sachs heads of the last 20 years that are always the Treasury secretaries. This is the shadow government. This is the corporate private hijackers. This is the enemy. To hijack our republic, and we are sick of it! generation of fraudsters that learn that they can manipulate the currencies going back thousands of years. More than 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ, the only time he got violent, went into the money changers and was manipulating the currency. Humanity. We need to make it clear to the world. These people are the enemies of private property or the general public. They want to make us all dependent under the yoke of a giant system that they control. And their attempt to claim that rebellion against their tyranny is to bring in socialism is an attempt to suck out our substance and reduce us to the level of slaves. Of a peaceful demonstration a month ago, so they jammed uploading. Everybody try to upload your pictures to the CIA Facebook and Twitter and Google CIA surveillance system and see if you're blocked from uploading. Let's find out if they are jamming us, because that shows how effective we are, and that'll be major news.